There's a lot of rage being displayed by many of my fellow cisgender white men. You see it on a daily basis on the internet. You saw it during this most recent US presidential campaign. And I suppose I could answer that rage with some of my own. But when I really think about it, it's not so much that I'm mad at them. It's that I feel sorry for them.
Well, Steve, I know plenty of people who feel sorry for you, buddy. But go ahead and speak for all cis white men in this video and lay down the facts for these angry white men, Steve.
Here are 5 sad things about angry white men. Number 1, they're ignorant.
No, they're ignorant. That's ignorant.
In the mid-18th century, the English poet Thomas Gray wrote, "Where ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise."
Hang on real quick. Fairly calm white male, all things considered. Yeah, okay, until you fucking start blocking people on YouTube and Twitter for having different opinions than yours. But sure, pretend you're a fairly calm man, Steve.
Gray was reflecting wistfully on the innocence of youth, but in a different context, he could easily have been describing the angry white men who formed the backbone of Donald Trump's base of support during this year's US presidential election. It's not just what these men don't know that makes it sad. It's what they are happy to not know.
Well, Steve, you should probably know by now that what got Trump to win was the colored and women voters. So, sorry, but you can't really blame white people for this. I know, shocking, right? That white people aren't to blame for all your stupid fucking problems, but, plenty of women and colored people voted for Trump. So, are they ignorant too? Oh, right. That would be misogynistic and racist to say that. Got it. Even though, according to your logic, I'd be right, let's just ignore that and just say all white men who are angry did this. Blame them!
They are extremely skeptical of science, except when they perceive it to reinforce their pre-existing biases. They care little to nothing about the experiences of people different than they are. Their knowledge of history is narrow, shallow, and warped by the narratives of conspiracy theorists.
So, all that shit, let me not back up those statements with evidence or facts, and instead I'll just cast aspersions on them. Oh, you forgot they're also rapists, they're Jew haters, they steal candy from babies, they rob banks, anything else you want to add here, Steve? I'm sure you can add more to that list.
Having said all that, it almost goes without saying that number 2, they're easily led.
Unlike me, Mr. Steve Shives, who blindly follows the rhetoric of SJWs and feminists without question. Way to go, Steve. You keep being hypocritical, you lovable piece of shit, you.
Easily and often, right-wing politicians and pundits are constantly manipulating white male voters with narratives about liberals coming to take their guns, immigrants stealing their jobs, labor unions destroying industry, or welfare recipients bleeding their country dry. Year after year, the fears and prejudices of these men are used to persuade them to vote against not just the common interest of the country, but against the interests of themselves and their families. And why? Why are they so easily led?
Maybe because they fucking agree with what he said, and they liked what he said, and they voted for him for various different reasons that you and I will probably never know about. Because people tend to be different, Steve. Like, grouping people together under one collective, under one umbrella, kind of doesn't work when talking about issues like this, because it makes you look like a complete buffoon and an arrogant, condescending sack of shit. Because now you're acting as if no Latinos, no women, no gays, no blacks voted for Trump and only angry white people did. But that's not true in the slightest, but of course you know that. But you still need to throw your little temper tantrum like the moron that you are.
Well, in addition to their aforementioned ignorance, there's also the fact that, number 3, they're insecure.
Once again, Steve, you're a shining example of the what's this? I was blocked from Steve Shives on Twitter? Oh, look at that. It's almost like that's a childish, insecure action, Steve!
For generations, white men have been told that women's liberation, racial equality, LGBTQ equality, and multiculturalism are going to destroy their way of life.
Who has said that? who's going on podiums or stages and announcing this to people when most of our society has been embracing your ideas and morals? No, sorry, if anything, most people have been supporting that. It's just that you're upset that not every single fucking person does. So therefore, the vast majority just rejects it. Oh, sorry, vast majority of white men do. Apologies, I forgot. This is the Racist Hour starring Steve Shives. My mistake.
They've been told that their governments are too big. They've been told that the President of the United States is secretly a foreigner who collaborates with terrorists. They've been asked rhetorical questions like, why is there no White History Month? Or why is it that the only group of people not allowed to be proud of who they are white people?
That's actually a fair point. Why, as white people, do you feel like we need to be ashamed of our skin color and our heritage and not proud? Why is that? Because, I mean, our history isn't all fucking sunshine and rainbows, but neither is Black history, neither is Mexican history, so please explain to me why I should be ashamed for my fucking skin color that I had no control over having. Go, I'm waiting. Explain that shit, Steve. Explain it to me and my audience and your audience why the white people watching this should be ashamed. I mean, I'm not proud to be white, nor am I ashamed of being white. I just am white, okay? And I'm fucking happy with it. I couldn't care less that I'm white. And I know plenty of people are as well. My skin color makes no fucking difference of who I am as a person, you retard.
Or why is it that no one cares when men are abused? Or why don't they appreciate all that we've done for them? Despite belonging to perhaps the most privileged class of people that has ever lived.
Okay, I don't know about all of you, but I'm pretty fucking sick and tired of hearing this white privilege nonsense that idiots like this like to spout out to disparage an entire race. But I don't have privilege. I don't. You can say I do. Fine, go ahead. I don't. I've worked hard for my shit. I've been poor. I've come from a broken home. I've been beaten. I've been verbally abused. I've been mentally abused. I've been made fun of as a kid for being fat. I've been beaten up by bullies. I was told that the reason why my parents got divorced was because of me. And this came from my mother. From my mother. So tell me, Steve, where the fuck was my privilege then? When that shit went down in my life, Steve. Oh, I'm white though, so it's all cool. It's all cool now though. I'm white, so it's all cool. Steve, if this video was flipped around and you were talking about black people or women, then I have a strong feeling you'd be singing a different tune. Like if I made a video called 5 Sad Things About Women, or 5 Sad Things About Black People, 5 Sad Things About Gays, 5 Sad Things About Feminists, 5 Sad Things About SJWs, you'd be going fucking apeshit!
White men have been convinced that they are about to lose everything. And, number 4, they're afraid.
I've seen overwhelming amount of videos saying how we're doomed as a nation because Trump won. Countless videos from Hillary supporters like yourself saying how our nation is fucked and how Trump is gonna do this and Trump's gonna do that. So you can just immediately fuck off with reason number 4 off the bat, because that is just utter nonsense.
Convinced that they are threatened from all sides by assorted political and social forces that are attacking their values, their masculinity, their place in history, many of my fellow cis-hetero white men aren't merely scared, they're terrified. They fear the progress made toward equality every day by Black Americans, Latinx Americans, LGBTQ Americans, Americans who follow religions other than Christianity.
Bring us the proof then, asshole, because right now all I'm hearing is a bunch of bullshit from a guy who thinks he can speak for his fellow cis white males. You don't speak for me, moron. I speak for myself. Also, the fact that you keep saying the word cis, unironically, leads me to label you as an automatic dimwit. I mean, you're already a dimwit. I mean, everyone already knew that, but I just figured I'd clarify it in this video to my audience. Just let them know in case they didn't know already.
Women, and pretty much any other group with which they can't personally identify.
Well, how can they when you fucking persecute and berate them for being cis and white? And how they're just wrong and don't even know it? Like what, you think that makes them want to side with people like you, Steve?
They fear the cultural changes that they perceive as they see the increasing popularity of films, TV shows, books, and music targeted at audiences other than them. They see all of these things and they fear them, and perhaps most of all, they fear number 5. They're being left behind. And that is sad. It's not sad that their racism is being left behind, or their xenophobia, their religious intolerance, their homophobia, their transphobia, their misogyny.
Yeah, well, hate to break this to you, but I can't leave those behind because I never fucking had them in the first place. So, I don't know what you're talking about. Once again, here's the problem with you generalizing everyone and clumping them up into one group. It's that they're not a hive mind, Steve, okay? We white people aren't a hive mind. I can't control the actions of another white person just as you can't, or this other white guy can't, or these other white people can't. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, you can't. I'm sorry, Steve. Steve, you're wrong. I'm sorry.
Their petulant, self-centered, victim-playing worldview.
Nice description of yourself and your ilk, by the way, Steve. It's always funny seeing how self-defeating you are. It's fucking magical.
What's sad is that they are being left behind because they would rather hold on to those things I just listed than try to change. And change is difficult. It takes effort. But it also takes effort to vainly resist every step forward that society makes. The deal is this, fellow white dudes, the future is coming. Just the same as it came for our parents and our grandparents. It's coming whether you like it or not. You can live in that future, or you can live in denial.
Yeah, but you know about the future, you can always change it, Steve, because it isn't set in stone. The future you're proposing is a bad one that a lot of people don't want to be a part of because it's a harmful one. You keep trying to drag the rest of us through your dirt, and your ideas leaving no room for discussion, nor any room for debate, or any sort of differing opinion, because you're a self-centered douche who proclaims himself the victor and harbinger of these stupid groups that are just 100% right about everything and anything. That's who you are, Steve.
The choice is yours. The hardest part is picking only 5. Catch you next time.
Yeah, no, I'm good, Steve, but thanks for the offer, but me and plenty of other people would just want to tell you to fuck off already. Please and thank you. Because a lot of us are just tired of hearing your fucking dribble.